Logan Layden has been following this story for StateImpact Oklahoma. I spoke with him about mining operations and their potential impact on the Arbuckle-Simpson Aquifer. Logan, why is there a mining rush in the area?
Well, there are really two main reasons. First of all, Oklahoma and the Arbuckle-Simpson Aquifer has some of the best limestone in the world. It attracts even international companies to come and mine it. But the main reason is really because of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is growing rapidly, and they need limestone. They need a lot of limestone to continue to grow, and they're starting to run out down there, so they've been coming here to get our high-quality limestone.
How long have the mining operations been going on?
Some of these mining operations have been there for decades, but there's been a real uptick over the last 10 years or so as they've started to need it more in North Texas.
Do we have an idea of how much water has been depleted from the Arbuckle-Simpson Aquifer?
We have no idea. From the mining industry to the activists that fought for the legislation to regulate water use, there's really no idea of how much water is being used.
Are the recent droughts partly to blame for the loss of water in the aquifer?
Well, it makes some common sense, but again, it is difficult to answer that question when we don't know how much water the mining companies are displacing. But the drought, certainly has got to have at least something to do with the fact that streams are drying up down there.
If indeed the aquifer is being depleted, are there expectations as to what that will do in Oklahoma?
Well, there are some real concerns. Right now, a lot of the mining is concentrated on Mill Creek, which isn't necessarily feeding any big municipalities, but it is affecting the creek, or at least that's what the homeowners tell us. And the worry is that as more mining operations come in, it would affect other creeks in the area that do feed places like Ardmore, Tishomingo, Sulphur, towns all around in that area.
What about state regulations?
Well, to this point, there really haven't been any regulations on this water that's a byproduct of the mining. That's actually changing with a recent law passed in 2011.
Tell us about that law.
Well, basically it says that companies that are mining in the area have to mitigate the water that comes out. First, they have to report how much water they're using and then come up with a plan to recycle and not waste it. But that's for companies that put permits in after August 1st of 2011. People that are already there or new applications before that time will only have to report the water usage and will not have to comply with the recycling part of the law from what we've seen.
Is part of the appeal of mining in Oklahoma the lack of regulation?
Well, those two main reasons are the most important ones, but it certainly doesn't hurt that there's, like Texas has a tax, I believe, on removing limestone from the ground, and they also have some laws pertaining to how deep companies can dig before they, hit into the aquifer. Oklahoma doesn't have any of that, so it certainly doesn't hurt.
You mentioned the new law, Senate Bill 597. Has there been pushback against that law?
Not very openly. I don't think that the mining companies really want to come out totally against that because it does seem to make some common sense to know how much of this water is being used. But so not a whole lot of pushback necessarily openly from the mining companies.
Logan Layden from StateImpact Oklahoma, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.